LA now has more than 230 cases of COVID-19. Orange County has 53. Riverside County now has 20. Ventura County remains unchanged from yesterday at 13. And San Bernardino County is unchanged from yesterday with 5 cases.
Our team coverage continues now with KCAL 9 political reporter Randy Page.
He has more on the national response. Randy?
Sharon Wan, there are a number of important developments in Washington today, beginning with 2 medications which may prove to help those who contract the virus.
I think it's going to be very exciting. I think it could be a game changer.
The game changer President Trump is talking about involves 2 existing drugs that he says are showing promise in treating coronavirus in hospital patients around the country. One, called remdesivir, is used to treat Ebola patients but still needs FDA approval.
The nice part is it's been around for a long time. So we know that if things don't go as planned, it's not going to kill anybody.
President Trump says the other promising drug, hydroxychloroquine, is already available. It's been used to treat malaria and arthritis since the 1950s.
That's a drug that the president has directed us to take a closer look at as to whether an expanded use approach to that could be done to actually see if that benefits patients. And again, we want to do that in the setting of a clinical trial, a large, pragmatic clinical trial, to actually gather that information and answer the question that needs to be answered.
Both drugs are currently in clinical trials for coronavirus, which means there is still no proven treatment for the illness. The president is frustrated by what he sees as red tape holding up experiments to find one that works. But the head of the FDA says the agency also needs to make sure these drugs are used safely.
What's also important is not to provide false hope. We may have the right drug, but it may not be in the appropriate dosage form right now, and that may do more harm than good.
The University of Minnesota is launching a trial this week to see if the anti-malaria drugs can be used not just to treat coronavirus in sick patients, but to actually prevent it in people who've been exposed but are not yet sick.
There's some data to suggest that if you're taking hydroxychloroquine and you're exposed to the virus, that the infection won't take hold. And that's the trial that we're doing. We want to see if that drug can prevent the infection from occurring.
And a trial is underway in Seattle for an experimental vaccine. If it works, a widely available version would most likely not be available for at least a year. But drugs to treat those already infected with the virus may become available much sooner than that, particularly drugs that are already being used to treat other diseases. And while scientists are conducting nearly 100 trials around the world for treatments and vaccines, lawmakers in the U.S. are trying to come up with a prescription for the ailing economy, which could be slipping into a recession.
When I talk to economists, certainly their expectations are that we have just tipped into a recession. They also believe it's going to be a pretty severe recession. What they can't figure out is how long this will last.
The coronavirus's blow to the economy can be seen everywhere you look. Businesses are closing down and laying off workers so quickly, they're crashing unemployment websites across the country.
What they're seeing is unemployment peaking at anywhere between, let's call it 6 to 8%.
Keep in mind, before the coronavirus, the U.S. unemployment rate was 3.5%, which means it could double in the span of a few weeks. The Senate is working on a third economic stimulus bill that could cost $1 trillion. The proposal includes sending up to $1,200 to Americans who make less than $99,000 a year. Also part of the proposal, grants for small businesses, funding for healthcare centers and equipment, and loans that must be paid back for hard-hit major industries. The top Democrat in the Senate says there needs to be guarantees to make sure workers and those most in need get relief.
There needs to be conditions to make sure the interests of labor are given priority, that corporations can't buy back stock, reward executives, or lay off workers.
And the State Department today issuing its strongest travel warning yet, telling Americans here, do not travel abroad, and those who are overseas, either come home now or shelter in place. Let's go back to you.
All right, Randy.